Hi, welcome back. In today's session, we will work on some particular poses that activate the side muscles. Those side muscles on the waist are connected to the rib cage, to the hip bone, to the fascia in the abdomen and the lower back. So these muscles are important because they're responsible for us bending forward, for us twisting, and for just general well-being of the whole abdominal area. Okay, so these muscles are called the oblique muscles. So we'll do some extensions, a lot of extensions through that side, a little bit of twisting. And for that, you'll need possibly one bolster, one belt, and a block. Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration. These programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. So first, sitting in Sukhasana, easy cross-leg position. So I'll change the cross on my legs. So you're crossing right at the shin bones. Adjust the buttocks muscles so that the buttocks is spread. And then you're going to turn over this right thigh. So you'll do that by lifting up and turning. Now I'm sitting on a blanket. I'm doing that just to show you that you can sit on a blanket. If you're sinking back, you're lowering back, then you sit on that blanket. If not, just adjust the buttocks and then bring your hands onto the floor and you're going to turn. So you want to turn the abdomen over this right thigh, and you'll do that by walking the hands forward, turning that back body. And here you can use a block to rest your head. So turning, lifting, lengthening, turning, and then release your head down. Keep extending through this arm, and with this hand, press and turn. So you're turning that back body, broadening through the back muscles. Keep the hips down so that as you move the hips down, you're lengthening that back waist, front waist, side waist. And you're lengthening there from the rib cage away from the hip bone. Take a few breaths there. And then we'll come up. And then we'll go to the other side. You may or may not need that block. You can come forward. You can also just rest the head on the knee. So you're turning, the abdomen is turning, the chest is turning. Walking forward. So just keep your block. Let your head rest there. So the neck's not hanging. And when you press the fingers, I want you to keep this right hip down, right hip grounded, so that you can get that length and extension through that whole right side of the body. Walk your hands forward, press into the left hand, turn the right back body, right back ribs, and rest your head. So just make sure to place the block where the head is comfortable. If you don't need the block, just rest the head on the knee. Now breathe into that area, broadening the back. As you exhale, turn from the right waist toward the left waist. So you're activating those particular muscles that I talked about earlier. And then inhale, come up, bring your block to the front. You're going to change the cross on your legs. We'll do it again on the first side. So adjusting, taking the block, walk the hands, turn the chest, turn that back. Keep the arms in line with the shoulders. So don't bring the arms way over to get the twist, but keep the arms in line with the shoulders. Keep the upper body, chest broad. Use this other hand to press, drop your hip, and lengthen. One side may be feeling different than the other. Descend that thigh. You can feel if it's lifted up, descend and turn. Lengthen your front left ribs away from your hip bone. And then come up. Watch that you're not squeezing too much, that you get pressure in the groin, tightness in the groin. If you do, then that's an indication you're doing too much. So turn. So you're making some space in the front hip as well. Turn and extend your arm. With your inhalation, move your rib cage away from your hip bone. With your exhalation, turn the abdomen from the right abdomen toward the left. So you're on the side of the head. And then come back into the center. Now we're going to go into forward Virasana and go into Parsva Virasana to the side like we just did. So here, you're going to come over, turn. You're going to bring your arm underneath. So you're turning that back body. Keep the hip grounded. Hands on the floor. And here, if you want to use that block again, you can rest your head on the block. So you're lengthening from the back waist corner up through that side trunk. Turning. Keep your hips moving back towards your heels. And then walk your arm forward. And then come back to the center. Come into a balanced left and right side, lengthening both sides equally. Move your hips back, spread your toes, lengthen the toes, and extend. So just look up, lift your front ribs up off your thighs. So there's some space there. From the back waist corners, lengthen, side waist corners. Keep your hands firmly on the floor, pressing. Lift the wrists, the forearms, the elbows. So the movement is back and forward at the same time. So if the hips are not grounded or you're not moving in the direction of the hips as well as lengthening the arms, walk your hands back a little bit. So both are actively extending in the opposite direction. And then come to the other side. Take your block. Press your hands down. Turn. Walk the arms forward. Be on the temple on the block. Use your hands. Walk that hand forward, extending through the entire right side of the trunk, using your left hand to turn the back ribs. And also keep that right hip grounded. And then you can lengthen that arm. All right, and then come up. You can take your block away. And you don't need this blanket right now. So we're going to come into Parivrtta and we're going to use the wall. So here, you'll kneel down. You may need to fold your mat or bring the blankets underneath the knee. And then you're going to take your foot to the wall. Okay, so you want to be far enough away from the wall that this hip will be over that knee. Okay? Be on the heel, be on the mounds of the toes. Walk the toes down. Kneecap is lifted, externally rotating the thigh. And you'll bring your arm up. Just paying attention to that back foot. So you're pressing the back foot down, the front of the ankle, front of the foot, turning the abdomen toward the front while this leg externally rotates. When we come over, we want to get that extension. So first we'll go to the wall and take our fingertips to the wall. Make sure your foot is placed in a way that you can use that to press into, and then you can walk the hand up. Okay, so lengthening, and then take the hand down, take the hand on the shin, keep that buttock moving forward, turn the chest, and lengthen. So these front ribs are moving away from the hip bone, turning, and then bring your arm up, and then take the arm over to the wall. So look and see where the wall is, so it's close. Reach for the wall, lift, and turn. If you can't reach the wall, just lift the arm up. Inhale, come up, bend the knee, and you're going to turn to do the other side. So we're getting stretch on both sides. When we lift this arm up, we're lengthening. This thigh is externally rotating, the buttocks coming forward. So here we're extending and lengthening, deepening through the front groin and lengthening through that side trunk. So walk your hand up and make sure that foot at the wall is going to support you to walk the hand forward to the wall and turn. Back hand on your hip, buttock moving forward, turn the chest. Lengthening, and then bring your hand down onto the shin. One more time, press the hand down, lengthen from the back waist corners, side waist corners, the whole side of the right trunk, and then raise your arm up, rotate the arm over, and extend. So from here, you're extending, turn, and lift, reaching for the wall. So find the wall, and then from there, turn. Bend the elbow a little bit if you need to. Keep that buttock moving in. Turn the chest. And then extend the arm. Look up. Inhale, come up. And then come back down. We'll just do that once. So we're going to go into a couple standing poses now. So standing up. Some other postures that we're able to lengthen the side trunk. So step your feet apart. Going to the right side. Utthita Trikonasana. So again, lift up through this whole side, lengthen, maintaining that length like you did in Parighasana, and then bring your hand down, press, and here's where you may need a block. So take the block, have the block there, press down, and when you press down, lengthen this armpit chest away. Turn the chest, bring the arm up. So just to get a little bit more extension on that side, we're going to go and bring the arm over like in Parsvakonasana. Reaching over, back leg moving back, front leg moving forward at the buttocks. And then bring the arm back up. You can bring the whole palm down on the block as long as you can maintain that. So the front ribs move down to get that extra extension. And then inhale, come up. You can take your block with you. Externally rotate now the left leg, turning it out, straighten both legs, press into the mounds of the big toe, the inner heel, lift the kneecap, activate the quadricep, and bring your arms out, bring the left arm up, back hand on the hip. From that back heel, lengthen, extend that arm, bring the hand forward, lengthening that whole side, so you're not going to shorten it when you bring it down. If it starts to shorten, observe these top ribs. Move the top ribs into the body and lengthen. So you're deepening through the front groin, beyond the fingertips. Turn the chest, bring the arm up. And then bring the arm over for that extension from the back leg. Be on the outer edge of the back foot and lengthen up through that whole side trunk. Turn the chest. Bring the arm up. Bring the hand down onto the block if you can. Flat hand. If you started shrinking in the side trunk, then come back onto the fingers. Keep the legs straight, activating the quadriceps. And coming back into the feet, into the legs, straighten the legs. Face forward and come in. Okay, you can take your block away. Stand in Tadasana. You're going to bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And then keep the arms close to the head so they're not moving out as much as you can. If you have to bring them further apart, have a strap. So we're going to lift up, and then we're going to keep the hips compact, thighs moving back, buttocks moving forward, lengthen through the side trunk, up through the arms, and then start to hinge to one side. Keep lengthening so you can feel that extension through the whole side without shifting your hips over to one side or the other. Your hands may be different, but lift up and extend. Okay, we're going to turn toward the wall again. Utthita Parsvakonasana. So we'll go with the right leg facing the wall, and you're going to have your feet about 4.5, 5.5 feet apart. Coming into Utthita Parsvakonasana, you can have your block on the outer side, and you'll come down into Virasana 2 to begin with, and then we're going to bring our arm over onto the wall. So we're using the wall in a lot of these poses to get that length. So first, lengthening, extending, use the fingertips, turn, pressurizing the hand, the arm, coming back into that back leg, and dropping the hip. And then I'm going to take the hand down onto the block without losing this side trunk, so the back ribs moving in. And then bring your arm up, and then rotate the arm over the head. So now I'm touching the wall again. As I touch the wall, lengthening and walking up. Walking up and turning. Keep the right buttocks moving in, left thigh moving back. Breathe. Extend. So reaching up from those back waist corners, side trunk. And then inhale, come up. Turn your feet, walk in, and we'll do the other side. So take your block to the back. Toes are facing forward. Externally rotate that left leg. Having enough distance so that when you go over, you feel like you're getting that extension. So I don't have my foot right up to the wall. See what happens when I bring it back a little bit. So this bottom arm is able to extend. And then when I bring it down, top arm is still able to extend. Okay. So measure your distance. Make sure you have the right distance. Press into that back foot. Lifting up through the pubis. Levelize the hips. Lift the left arm up. And then walk over. Bring your hand onto that wall. Walk the hand up. Extend through the side trunk. And then finally bring the hand down onto the block. If you need the higher block, you can take the block higher. Bring the arm out, reach up, and then I'm going to take the block down a little bit. Reach the arm over. Use the fingertips at the wall. Use the hand on the block. Bring that right buttock, left buttock in, right thigh back. Extend the arm. Turn the chest. So get that extension, walk the hand up a little bit so you can feel that length coming, not only through the front, but the sides and the back. Coming back to the feet, lift up, turn your feet, and walk your feet in. Okay, you can take your block away. Okay, now we're going to sit at the wall. So I'm going to move my mat back a little bit so I can have my feet at the wall. So if you're using one mat, turn your mat to this side of the wall. Okay, so now you're going to sit down in Upavistha, and we're facing the wall. You bring your legs wide, Upavistha Konasana. You'll be on the heel, so the toes are up. The ball of the inner foot or the big toe and the inner foot is pressing against the wall. So you're not like this with the foot on the wall, but you're on the outer side. And then adjust the buttocks, lengthen the calves. And then first, just walk your hands up the wall. Keep the thighs descending, reaching up. So lifting from the back waist corners, side of the trunk, using the arms to get that extension from the lower back to the middle back to the upper back. And then bring the hands down. Bring your right hand in front, left hand back, pressing into both. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. So use the back hand to make sure that you stay upright. You're not leaning back. So this hand is a pressing hand toward the wall. The hand in the front is a pushing to help you lift up, descend the thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Keep the legs active, so drawing the kneecaps up, activating the quadriceps. Keep the femur bone moving down. The head of the thigh bone moving down. Whole back of the leg is touching the mat. And then release. Extend your arms up again. Walk the arms. Walk the fingers. And then come down. The hand in the center between the two legs near the wall. Take the other hand back behind you. Use that as the pushing hand. Inhale. Exhale, turn. So this shoulder's moving back. Collarbones are widening. As you descend the hips down, you're lifting up away from that pressing down action. So you're lifting the trunk, side trunk, lifting the chest. Exhale, turn. Staying with your breath, noticing where you are in your sitting bone. So I could feel it's a little to the back of the sitting bone, so I want to press more so that the whole spinal column is lifted up, and then turn. And then release. Okay, now facing the wall again, we're going to walk the hands up, reach up, and now take this arm over and bend the elbow so we're coming laterally to the side. Side of the trunk is lateral over that leg. Bring your elbow down. Walking the elbow down, the upper arm down as much as you can. Keep this back leg grounded. You can take hold of your big toe or hold of the foot or use the strap if you need to. Walk the arm down. And then bring those back ribs down so you're feeling the space of the leg and the side trunk. And then take the other hand at the wall. Keep the back foot active, back thigh moving down, front thigh moving down. Both legs actively from the feet, lifting up through the knees, through the thighs. Hips, buttocks moving down. Side trunk lengthening. Turn the chest using the hand on the wall. Reach the arm up. And then if you can, start to bring the arm over. So you can walk it down the wall If you can catch your foot, you can catch the foot and then turn toward the wall. Bend your elbow and look up underneath your arm. And then walk the hand up. Come back up, both hands. Lower back lengthening, side trunk lengthening. And then we'll go to the other side. So sliding the hands down, take hold of the big toe. If your arm only goes to this, just not as far as I went down, you could use a block and bring the block there. Bend the elbow and turn. Okay? Or you could use a blanket, something, so that you could be able to come down a little bit deeper and have that leverage of the arm against the leg. Turn the chest, use the hand at the wall, lengthening. Keep the back leg moving down, top ribs moving down. Walk the arm down further as you can, and then reach the arm up. Turn, and if you can, bring the hand over, catch the foot, and turn. Bend the elbow. So feel that extension coming through both sides of the trunk, that lateral extension. And then come up. Reach up again. And then bring the hands down. Okay. So, all right, we'll do one more standing pose, Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. You'll have your right leg forward, left leg back. You can have a block, extend that back foot, and then bring the arm over that leg. Have the hands at the wall. Keep extending through the back leg. Use the hands, lengthen through the side trunk, and then turn. Coming up, we'll turn to do the other side. Take your block. So the back foot is turning, the hip is turning, the knee is over the ankle. Just using this to spot yourself because you're close to the wall. So you keep your balance, bend the knee, bring that hip down, and then reach the arm up, lengthen, and bring the arm over, hook it onto the outer knee, stabilize through that back foot again, bring the hip away from the wall, extend forward, extend through that back leg. Press the arm, press the leg, lengthen that side trunk, and turn. And then straighten the leg. Taking the block forward. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana with the legs wide in Prasarita Padottanasana. Extend forward. Let's move the legs back to the wall. So with the legs grounded, the heels and the thighs, get that extension through both sides of the trunk. Use the hands, move the hands back so you feel the whole back of the thigh touching the wall, and from there, lengthen forward. Front ribs into the body, back waist corners lengthening. And then walk forward. Okay, keep your right hand on the floor. Take your left hand back onto your hip. Lengthen the side trunk and then turn. Keep both feet equally pressurized, both legs lifting up into the hips. Compact the hips so that you're not shifting to one hip or the other. Press down, turn the chest. Press into that bottom hand. Legs back like they were at the wall. You can look forward so that if your neck is strained, you don't strain your neck. So turn the chest. And then coming back down, walk forward. Like the legs were at the wall, moving the thighs back, extend forward. And then coming to the other arm. In the center, other hand on the hip. Turn. So you're turning this whole shoulder girdle, rotating that upper arm, turning, bringing the hand up. So now this side feels a lot more comfortable. So I think just make sure you have that hand in a position where you feel like you can turn. Or just look forward. And then release, come back. Walk the hands forward. And then come down, come onto your knees. Okay, let's have the bolster. And you're going to bring the bolster sideways like this. We'll come over. Let's start on this side. Bring your bolster over. You're going to lay over your bolster on your side rib cage and extend your legs. So press down into the feet, be right on the center of the hip, center of the calf and the foot, and then lift up and extend. So you're extending this arm, extending the whole side trunk. Press with the feet. Now, if you're falling over, you can always bring your hips to the wall. And then bring your arm over and extend. Keep the feet active, toes drawing back towards you, thighs moving back, buttocks moving forward. And just allow that bottom rib cage to soften and extend up through the upper side trunk. And then come up. This is particularly good if you have an imbalance, maybe some scoliosis that you know one side is protruding. You can come over the bolster, which will help you to be able to adjust the rib cage. And then extend this arm, lift up, press the feet down, be right on the center of the hips, thighs moving back, buttocks moving forward. Extend your arm. You can keep your hand on your hip. You can extend your arm. And then bring the arm up and over. Keep the feet active. Relax into the side rib cage. Keep that armpit area extended. And then bring the hand up. Okay, we're going to take away the bolster now. And we'll just come to the wall. So you can use the wall to make sure you stay balanced. And the hips in the right position. So the buttock is moving forward, thighs are moving back. Around the outer edges of the feet. I'm going to move these away. So first, I'm going to bend the elbow. And from the bent elbow, I want to lengthen the whole lower arm. So walking the fingers away, open the armpit chest. Extend the legs. and release the head down. So here you're opening this armpit area. You're extending the side trunk with the pelvis in the center, thighs moving back, and buttocks moving forward. You can also bend the elbow. Take the head in the hand and be in this position. So here you want to have this armpit area reach the floor. So you can start to extend and lengthen, moving that elbow away, getting that contact with the floor. Might not be happening today, but you can work on that. So here, bringing it down. Okay, and then let's do the other side. So coming out carefully, you can turn and come on the other side. Okay, you're going to come to the other side now. So we'll start with the elbow bent to begin with. Just wedge yourself right in close to the wall. So taking the time just to come on the middle of the hip, buttock at the wall, feet extended, and then bend your elbow. As you bend your elbow, slide the arm away so that that armpit area is moving down toward the floor. Using this hand to keep your balance there. So from that side trunk, lengthening all the way up, you can take your hand, extend it. See if you made any progress there. Hand on your hip, thighs back, tailbone forward. And then finally, just walk your hand down. So the wall helps you here. The final pose, we do it in the center. So it requires that you have your balance and that you're on that side of the hip, side of the waist, and side of the arm. Okay? Thought I'd throw that in there for a little fun. Okay, let's go into Halasana now. And you'll take your bolster. Let's see how we want to do that. I'd like you to be at the wall. So you're going to, you may need an extra bolster to bring yourself up and over. So we're going to start here. Shoulders are on the bolster. If you can bring your legs up, Prasarita Padottanasana. You can press the hands down, lift the hips up, and bring the legs over. Roll the shoulders under. Take the hands on the back. So here, the side trunk is lengthening. Shoulders moving down. We'll keep the legs up a little bit higher so you can get that length. So just to be there, make sure you've rolled your shoulders under. Lengthen from the shoulder into the hands. Bring the hands on the back. Thighs are lifting up, so the hips are also lifting up. As your shoulders are descending down, you're getting that length through both sides of the trunk. You can take the feet down a little bit lower. You can come onto the floor. Just come onto the floor. If not, keep your legs up or move a little closer with your bolsters so your feet will be at the wall. And then we're going to take our legs over to the right. Keep the hips lifted and continue to lengthen through both sides. Be on the toes. Extend the heels up. Keep the shoulders grounded. So even though the weight is going to that side, I want to maintain the weight on my outer shoulder. Come back to the center, Halasana, and then coming into Parsva Halasana. On the other side, walk the foot over, lift the hips, press the arms down, keep the heels lifting up, lengthening the whole sole of the foot, balancing the hips, and then come back to the center. You can bring your arms to the side, bend the knees, come into Karnapidasana. Take your hands, either keep your hands on your back. If you're okay, you're not falling over, then you can take your hands in the back of the knees and release the knees down. And then straighten the legs again. You're going to come out. So take your hands behind you. Or if you put a bolster there, that helps you to go up. If you couldn't get your legs up very easily, a bolster there will help if you can't go into Urdhva Prasarita Padottanasana and lift up. So now, if you don't have a bolster, come down a little bit until your fingers are touching the floor, and then start to come down one vertebrae at a time. As you do that, lift your chin up as you move your hips down. And then bring your hips onto the floor, and you'll slide off your bolster. Lift my hips up and take the bolster underneath the knees. And then just come into Savasana. You bend your knees, heels on the floor, adjust your pelvis. Making sure you're in the center. Adjust your arms and let the arms relax completely. I didn't take a blanket for the head, but if you have tight shoulders and the chin is dropping back, take that blanket to raise the head up slightly, and then bring the arms back out to the side. Just allow your breath to help you let go. I'll set a timer for you for Savasana, so just be there to allow yourself to rest, to let go. Observe your experience. Namaste.